Hey everybody, I hope that you all had a great week. As always, I want to take a minute, give you an update on what's happened in Washington, D.C. this week. Now, at the end of this week, the House passed what's called a continuing resolution. You've heard me talk about these for several years now. A CR, government funding expires on the same day every year, September 30th. So it's Congress's responsibility to pass new funding bills for each federal agency before that date. But Congress rarely does its job, as many of you are used to, and so it gives itself an extension. The CR lets Congress kick the can down the road, really with no consequences. Congress has already done this once this year. Back in September, a CR was passed. I didn't vote for it, and now we have a continuation of that continuation, like a carbon copy of a carbon copy. Now, average Americans understand this, in my opinion, when I speak to them. When your boss gives you a project and a deadline, if you don't meet that deadline, there's consequences. Congress needs to hold themselves to that same standard and do its job. I wish I could tell you that things are about to change. That is not the most likely thing that's going to happen in the world today. But you know what's not the federal government's job to do? Tell you that you have to take a vaccine if you choose not to. Now, I've got another update on Joe Biden's unconstitutional vaccine mandate. This is a fight that we are winning. This week, 2 district federal courts struck down the vaccine mandates that apply to healthcare professionals in a handful of states. That is a win for liberty-loving Americans everywhere. It's actually a win for people that even want vaccine mandates, because eventually they'll probably wake up and realize that they do in fact want freedom, liberty, and independence. So I think it's a win for everybody, but we've got more work to do on this front. This week I introduced the Employee Privacy Act that would prohibit employers from asking current or prospective employees about their vaccination status. To do so is a violation of somebody's civil liberties. This is the most rampant form of discrimination that we're seeing in our country today. And it's a blatant violation of the privacy that every American is entitled to. We've got the momentum, we're winning at this, and we can't stop until we've won. I had a conversation with folks this week, and I said this mandate is everything. It is a fundamental conversation about what our government can and can't do. Can our government go out there and tell you that you have to put something in your body or not? Obviously, I come down on the side of they cannot do that, and that's why I think this is an issue worth falling on your sword over, worth dying over, because it's that important to what our country stands for. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the ongoing opioid epidemic. Now, in the last year, we saw a record number of drug overdoses and deaths. And as someone who was put on a pharmacy's worth of narcotics following my injuries in Afghanistan, I do know how hard it is to wean yourself off of these opioids, and I'm committed to doing everything that I can to help combat this epidemic. That's why I supported 2 bills on the House floor this week. The first is designed to give law enforcement more tools to stop pharmacy shopping, or people who will abuse prescriptions and attempt to have the same script filled at multiple pharmacies. The second would create a public education campaign about the dangers of synthetic opioids like fentanyl. Now, I supported this bill because, like I said, we need to do everything that we can, and education is important on this front. But if we want to get serious about tackling fentanyl in our communities, we need to address the situation at our southern border. As we say constantly, every state now is a border state. Just last month, Texas law enforcement announced that they had confiscated enough fentanyl to kill every single citizen in Texas, California, and New York. That's not a problem that a PSA can fix. That's a problem that Customs and Border Protection can help fix. That's a problem that Joe Biden can help to fix if he goes back to the policies of President Trump and securing our southern border. This is not an issue that is only impacting states in Southwest. These drugs are finding their way into communities in every single state, including our state, the state of Florida. We need to make sure that Customs and Border Patrol has the resources that they need, and we need to secure our border. And that's what I'll continue to fight for every single day. As always, it is an honor to represent you here in Washington, an honor to be your representative. I hope that you all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope that you're all enjoying a great Hanukkah, preparing for a great Christmas. I always look forward to seeing you all around. We've got a host of Christmas parades coming up here in the future. I'll probably see you all out at some of those. In that, I wish you all the best. You all take care.